Hey guys, look what I got. That's right, I just got the MJX Bugs 3. This thing is a brushless quadcopter and it's GoPro ready. That's right, this thing is brushless. It's very inexpensive. Check the link for the current price. I got it from gearbest.com and it is GoPro ready. Alright guys, I'm going to quit talking and we are going to open up the box and we're going to see what's going on inside. Alright guys, here's what we've got going on inside the box. We're going to take a closer look at all the components here shortly. But first, here's the owner's manual and stickers. And this is a ready-to-fly kit, so of course it comes with the radio, but it is found on the underside of the box. Alright guys, here is everything that comes inside the box. Right up here we've got our radio, we've got our quadcopter / drone, whatever you want to call it. We've got our accessories, our prop guards, our charger, our GoPro holder, our props and spare props, as well as the landing gear. Alright guys, here's a quick look at the quadcopter itself. It is a nice looking little quadcopter. And we've got 4 brushless motors with independent ESCs. I always like that. We've got a nice bright light here in the front. It's got kind of an Angry Birds look to the front of it. I like it. That must be the bugs thing. It must be an angry bug. The next thing I'm going to talk about with this is the battery. The upside is that it can fly up to 18 minutes. On this battery. Of course, that's without the prop guards and landing gear. That's just this as is. And without the GoPro mount and probably a GoPro too. All of that adds weight, which reduces flight time. Now, on the negative side, we have a plug. I'm not sure I've ever seen a plug like this before. This is an XT30. See if we can get that to focus. Alright, it's an XT30. So, while the dimensions on this are probably easily duplicable, you can probably duplicate them. Let's say it that way. This plug, I'm not sure how easy it is to replace that or to find extra batteries. You may just have to order more of these. I really don't know. But all in all, this thing looks pretty good so far. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to charge this battery, and while that's charging, I'm going to put on prop guards and put on the landing gear and install the props. And then we're going to do a quick little indoor flight demo. Alright guys, here's what it looks like with the propellers installed on it, as well as the landing gear. I decided not to do the prop guards. It's a little bit weird how those go on. It looks like, I'm not positive, but almost looks like it goes on, it attaches to the same screw that mounts to our brushless motors, and I wanted to keep that firm and intact. Space is also a premium in my place, so when you've got the prop guards, you can't just fold the props in and then stick it somewhere. And this is something I plan to keep for quite some time. Also, I installed the action camera mount. And I've got the GoPro in here, GoPro Hero 4 Silver. And it slides around a little bit, so you're going to potentially get some shake. Unless these motors are super smooth, which they probably are. But my recommendation to you is to go to the hardware store, if you decide to get this anyway, is to go to the hardware store, get some weather stripping, and this really kind of soft, squishy stuff, and line the inside. That way you have, a nice little nest for it. You can reduce jello, all sorts of stuff like that. It also comes with 2 pieces of similar material, but I would go for a little bit thicker because, like I said, this front to back is a little sloppy and side to side. You can definitely find the right solution at a hardware store to fix that. And each of these action cameras are a little bit different size, so the weather stripping will give you the option to customize it for whatever size camera you've got. Alright, so before we do a quick test flight, indoors here, I'm going to give you a quick overview on the radio. Alright guys, here is the radio, and something I'm going to point out right away is you see that little seam right there? Well, there's a seam there because you need to install these thumbsticks on the radio. And there's also a screw down in there. It comes in a little pack in the accessories pack. So that is something I wanted to point out right away, because if you're watching this video, you may already own this, or you want to do research to know what you expect. So I try and let all of you guys know what to expect as much as I possibly can in my videos. So in addition to the thumbsticks, probably the other most important thing to know about is this red button. So this thing is a very powerful brushless unit, and it can get pretty sticky pretty quickly. So it has a lock and unlock button, which is all done here. So if you want to unlock, you do a quick button or a quick press on that button, and if you want to lock it, you hold it down for a little bit longer to lock it. So the other button right here, right next to it, is basically the speed button, high and low speed, high, low. So it should give you a beep when you do that. In fact, let's turn that on. Yeah, 1 beep is low, 2 beep is high. Alright, so I'm going to shut that off. We've got our trim buttons. And over here, we've got our flip button. This one right here. So when you want to do a flip, push that button and then push the stick any one of the 4 directions, and this will flip that direction. Now I'm going to wait to do that outside, but coming up next, we are going to fly this inside. Alright guys, so this thing is a little bit tricky to get started. So first thing you do is hold down this button, turn on the power button, then you go plug that thing in, and then you hit the red button again. So I just plugged it in, gonna hit the red button again. We activate the motors, and here we go guys. Gonna do just a little bit of a test here. Alright, so here is the maiden flight and low rates. Alright, so this thing feels very controllable guys, very stable. I'm actually pretty impressed so far. Take it up a little bit higher so you can see those beautiful darker blue lights in the back. And I'll try and keep it in frame, obviously. You know, this feels good, guys. I'm not gonna lie, this feels real good. Yaw rate's not bad. For something this big and powerful in here, I am just relaxed. That's good. I'm not gonna try any flips or anything, but this is cool. Alright, I'm gonna touch down, and again, to shut off the motors, we just push this button right there to shut them off. Well, I need to hold it a little longer apparently. There we go. So that's the long hold to shut them off. Short hold to turn them on. Alright guys, I'm gonna be right back with my closing notes. So I'm gonna start with the cons, because we're gonna be doing a pros and cons summary here. As far as the cons go, the GoPro holder needs some modification to work ideally. Not the end of the world, but it'd be nice if it worked perfectly, especially as advertised basically. The process to turn it off and on to get it to fly, it isn't exactly super user friendly. It's quirky, let's be honest. It's a little quirky. The proprietary battery is a bit of a con too. The severity of that con, it depends on who you are. Alright, so let's get into the pros, because there's a lot more pros than there are cons. For me, it looks super cool. If something doesn't look cool or appealing or anything like that, I don't even care about it. It has to look cool. I have to want to take it out and fly it and enjoy it. So that's a big pro for me. It's flight time. I need to test that outside, but if it lives up to any of the hype, that is a huge pro. It's also really nice to fly in small spaces. I was really surprised at how comfortable I felt flying that in this really tight space. For me, that is a huge pro. And its price. Its price for what you get is incredibly impressive. Check the link in the description. That way you see the current price. Prices change on these all the time, so depending on when you're viewing this, it could be very different from what it was when I recorded this or not. So check the price for the link. It can only go down from here. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up. Like, comment, and subscribe. And GB Linden out.